What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's your boy DeLion with BW Sports One and Southern Indiana Combat Production. That's right, SICP 6 Fall Brawl presented by D. Patrick Ford Lincoln of Evansville, Saturday, October 5th, live from the Old National Events Plaza in Evansville, Indiana. And right now with me, I have one half of one of the most electrifying on paper and everything fights, featured fight of the night, Mr. Quincy Evans. We appreciate your time, sir. How we doing?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you for having me on, man. Appreciate it. I'm doing great. I can't complain.
Good deal. Good deal. So, big fight coming up, obviously, October
Mhm.
5th. You and Keaston McLean for that title. He's the reigning champion here at SICP. You're coming in as the #1 ranked lightweight in North America,
Okay.
facing the #6 ranked lightweight in North America. Before we get to that, give everybody a little background of Quincy Evans, how you got involved in combat sports and leading up to today.
Oh man, yeah, man. It's been a wild journey. Everything has happened so fast. First off, appreciate it. Like I said, appreciate you for taking the time out to interview me, having me on, man. I appreciate it. It really does mean a lot.
Absolutely.
Um, and then, man, just the background. Uh, Man, I always started out as a kid who, wanted to do like, karate and all of the other classes. But, my Dukes was like, nah, we're not going to do that. We'll stick to, like Pee Wee football or basketball and stuff like that. So, yeah, we did, me and my little brother, we did like basketball and football and things growing up. But man, when I got in ninth grade, I had a group of friends who were playing football and I wasn't going to play. And they were like, man, you need to come out, man. It's just fun. We get a couple extra hours after school, blah, 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 all that stuff, just time to hang out. And so I ended up playing football and wrestling season came around. And the football coach at the time, Coach Nixon, who I love to death, man. Coach Nixon, shout out Coach Nixon. I love Coach Nixon, man. Um, he was like, all of my football players are going to be 3-sport athletes. I was like, so you got to find something to do. And wrestling season came around, and I was like, I really ain't trying to wrestle, I ain't trying to do that. And we ended up. I was like, Coach, I'm gonna go out for the swim team. And he looked at me, and he was like, Nah. He was like, you coming to wrestle? I'm the head wrestling coach as well. You're coming to wrestle. So long story short, man, I ended up wrestling. I fell in love with wrestling, and that's actually how I met um one of my coaches and my brothers, Joel Fagler, who actually just went pro this past July. And he was like, "Man, Q, you graduated from high school and you wrestle." It was like, "Man, you're too young just to hang up the athletic career." It was like, you got more in you, you got more in you. And his dad as well, we call him Pops. He was like, yeah, man, you're too young. You need to, get in here. You need to do just push, just, try it. We know you're a hard worker. We know you can do it. We believe you can be a champion. And so I ended up, coming back to wrestling classes with them one day a week on Wednesdays up at the training gym. And they were like, hey man, won't you put the gloves on? Won't you come try out some striking classes? And I was like, no, I'm good. I said, I have seen y'all train. I've seen what y'all do to each other inside them four walls. I was like, I'm good, bro. I don't want it. I'm straight. And man, they kept pushing me, kept pushing me, kept pushing me. All of the guys up there, Malcolm, Jake, Joe, Pops, everybody kept pushing me, man. And I bought my first pair of gloves. And once I bought the first pair of gloves, I was hooked. Yeah, I was hooked, man. It's such hard work. Every night is something different and it's challenging, man. So it really helps my mental. So yeah, I was one of those guys that said never. I never do it. Y'all are crazy. It is what it is. I'm gonna wrestle and I'm gonna go home. And
Yeah.
man, here we are. It's crazy.
Right here we are. So, I mean, you started your amateur career, it looks like, correct me if I'm wrong, off of on a loss. And then since then, it has been, balls to the wall since then. And you have not looked back so far. Tell me, how did that affect you, or did it at all? Coming in hype for your first fight, get that first fight in, take the L, and then kind of refigure yourself, or just kind of go back to the drawing board? And how did that affect you and move you to, going 9-0 in your last 9?
Man, honestly, yeah, that first fight, I was a bull in the china shop. Me and Jake were talking about it literally this week. He was like, yeah, Q didn't listen his first, talking about somebody else. And he was like, Q didn't listen his first fight either. And I was like, yeah, Jake, I ain't gonna lie. Cause honestly, I was like, the only thing I remember running in the cage, doing like 2 circles around the cage. And then you asked me, was I ready? I did like a yell, and I don't remember anything after that. I was like, so yeah, man, everything was moving super, super fast. And honestly, man, I gotta contribute it to the people that's around me, my coaches, my brothers, the family that I have with me. Because if they weren't uplifting me, if they weren't pushing me every day, day in and day out, I wouldn't be where I am right now, because just that physical and that mental push that they give, man, it's I mean, I don't have words for it, honestly. It's amazing, man. Like I said, coming off that first loss, I remember talking to Malcolm as well about it, and how he was like, man, most people, the way that you took your first loss would have given it up. They would have hung up the shoes. They would have been like, you know what, it's not for me. But he was like, man, you came back and you're out here, you're continuously running up the score. And I told him, man, I was like, that's thanks to God and that's thanks to y'all. Like, I don't have anything else. I've got when I say I've got a village, I know when I get in that cage, I'm by myself, but the spirit of every single body who pushes me day in and day out, my mom, my dad, my girlfriend, my coaches, my wrestlers from when I coached at Augusta Christian, like everybody really just propels me, man. And I don't look at it as a win streak. I just literally take it one fight at a time. And I just go in there and I worry about that fight. When I have that fight lined up, I make sure I'm focusing on that fight, not the last one, not the next one. And man, God has blessed me. God is truly, truly. I'm extremely blessed, man. I am.
Well, it's definitely true to surround yourself with good people and people that you want to inspire to be like in certain aspects, and to have that team around you says 100% about character and everything. So here we are, like I said, number 1 versus number 6 for the title. Reigning champion is your opponent.
Yes,
You're
sir.
coming up to the first time to Indiana. How does that feel, making that trip out of the Southeast region into the Midwest?
Man, it feels good, man. It feels good. When I got that message, it just lets me know that everything that we're working for and that we're working super hard towards, not even just for me, but for the guys who are coming up, with me as well. And being able to get that name out there for, the Faglers, just it means so much, and it meant so much, because I was literally like, man, that's wild. Y'all want to bring me out here. And I try not to look at Tapology like that. I just try to make sure I'm training every day and I'm trying to constantly get better, 1% better every day. So it just makes me feel good to know that like people go on, pull up Tapology and they see like Quincy Evans Jr. That's crazy. Yeah, my name, I really like hold my name dear to my heart. So to see that, it makes me super happy. I'm excited, man. I'm excited to come out and put on the show for the crowd, man. It's gonna be one for the books for sure, for sure.
Well, I know we cannot wait for this matchup to take place finally inside that SICP cage.
So,
Without giving me too much strategy in your camp and what's going on, how are you looking at at Keyston and in this fight? How do you see it going? What do you see you being able to take advantage of?
man, we look at every opponent like they're dangerous, because they are. We're at that point now where it's the cream of the crop. It's not guys that are. I mean, we're still in the amateurs, of course, but we're not looking at guys who are, only training once or twice a week now. We're looking at guys who literally are on the verge of going pro. You know what I mean? Within 1, 2, maybe 3 fights. Um, so of course we look at all of our opponents like they're dangerous, but we're really game planning really well for this one. We've got a group of guys who've got fights coming up. So training was already, super locked in, super technical, super hard. And it's just rolled right on through in my camp. I'm feeling great. Feel awesome. The body feel awesome. The weight is exactly where it needs to be, man. Everything is lining up um perfectly, in a sense, to make sure that we go out here and we do what we got to do on October 5th. And yeah, man, yeah, it's gonna be a show. I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
I love it, man. I love it. Now, you mentioned, people on the verge of going pro. Is that where I know you don't want to look too far past this, obviously, because this
Yeah,
is
no
the
doubt.
warrior in front of you. But after this, especially if you get a win, does that look at, okay, maybe I look at going pro at this point, or did you already have something in mind where you have, 2, 3, 4 more fights in amateur and then go pro?
Honestly, man, I've been sitting down with my coaches and talking, and I know I've said this on, other interviews as well, and people keep asking me like, "Hey, what's the, what is it? What's the info? You got the 411?" Honestly, man, I leave my career to my coaches. So whether they say we've got one more fight, whether we've got 5 more fights, whether we've got 10 more, like whenever they say suit up, they ask me, "Am I available this date?" I'm going to go and suit up. So yeah, man, I don't know. I got to sit down and talk with the coaches, and hopefully it's soon, because we have a saying in the gym, no stone unturned. So once we once we knock this one off, man, hopefully we start making that jump, get ready to make that jump. I'm excited because I never would have imagined being even thinking about being a professional athlete, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's to know that that's close somewhere in the future. Yeah, is that's what's up, bro. I can't stop
Right.
smiling, man. It's just
Right.
wow. It's wild.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you, I, and everybody else knows it is on the verge of close.
Mhm.
Um, whether regardless of what happens, this fight, that pro status is gonna happen eventually for you. We all, feel it, see it happening. So, congratulations of making it this far and making it to that verge of, you know, potentially making that jump into the professional leagues. Now, before I let you kind of get away, I appreciate your time,
No
but
doubt.
I'm going to ask everybody this same question. Once your career is done, your full combat sport career is over, how would you want your legacy to be remembered in this sport?
Oh man. Um Honestly, man, I want my legacy to be remembered as um that I left something worth picking up and running forward with. Um I want to make sure that I fulfill my purpose, with God. And that's, just leaving people better than when I found them. I want some young kid to, 20, 30, 40 years from now to see my record and go through my fight career and be like, man, he worked hard, he stayed true to it, he was consistent, he stayed true to God, he stayed true to himself. um, and that's worth picking up and running forward with. Whether they want to be fighters, whatever it may be, whether it's they're with their family, whether it's with their career. I just want people to, when they see me, to want to leave others better. I always say, just give people a smile. It's walking down the road sometimes, and just smile at people. It may make their day, it may make them feel better. So, of course, I want my name to be up there, along the greats. If you're not doing it to be the best, then why are you doing it? Of course, but I also want people to say, man, it was something about that guy. He made me feel, when he came in my presence, he made me feel better. Or just watching the way he moves and the way he talks, and the way he interacts with people. Um, I just feel better. I want to go out and I want to push that forward as well. Because it's enough evil in the world, man. We got enough evil. Just be the good, be the good in the world.
Absolutely agree 100% with you. And I love that character right there, brother. I appreciate your time. Before you go, do you have any shout outs you'd like to give to sponsors, fans, friends, families, lovers, haters? The table is yours right now, my man.
Bet. Man, first shout out to all my supporters, man. First off, I gotta say that. Um, Shout out to everyone who has ever supported, and that's monetary donations, that's words of encouragement, that's through text, that's through call, that's through coming to see me fight, that's through ordering a pay-per-view. Any way that you've ever supported, man, I truly appreciate it because I could not do it without y'all. I am, your champion, the people's champion. So it means a lot to me. Sponsors, man, shout out Fabulous MMA, of course, the home gym, Backyard Bullies, Backyard Bullies Wrestling Club. Got to shout out Gerald Jones Auto Group, um, um, Big Wave Pool and Spa, Gold's Gym in Evans, Trade Up Careers. Man, there's so many people who support me, man. It's insane. So I really appreciate all of y'all. Um, Yanni Apparel, yeah, man, it's been an amazing ride, and I just want to continue to make y'all proud and make y'all happy. And man, shout out to, like I said, my girlfriend, my dukes, my dad, everybody that ride for me, man. I appreciate everybody, man. I really do. I really do.
Well, right on, man. Remember, folks, Quincy Evans Jr. coming up to the Midwest for the first time to take on the SICP reigning 155-pound amateur champ, Keaston McLean, in
Yes,
one
sir.
of the biggest matchups of the year. Could be fight of the year potential right here, folks. Check them out. That's right, folks. SICP 6 Fall Brawl presented by D. Patrick Ford Lincoln of Evansville. Saturday, October 5th, live from the Old National Events Plaza in Evansville, Indiana. Quincy, once again, thank you, brother, for your time. We appreciate it. And we will also, I'll see you at the weigh-ins, and we will see all of you here in Evansville, Indiana, October 5th. Until then, we are out.
Yes,
Peace.
sir. Get them tickets.